Guy, the last thing that you remember before you wake up on this rocky beach, this coast, is the lurching of the ship. You had booked passage to travel from the southeastern continent of Amusa straight up to the northwestern continent known as Eisenhound. It is a trip that takes you across the mid-oceanic region, uncharted on most maps. Though, many have said they've made the trek, it's been known that it's a dangerous voyage to make. But, in other words, it's cheap. So, Guy, what you do remember is the ship being pulled by some unknown force, shaking you in your own chambers. As you rushed to the top of the deck, you just remember everything being coated, sleek, wet. The storm that had picked up and the lurching of the waves had just coated everything in just a slippery mess of vapor and water. And as you looked out and you saw the captain panicking and the crew panicking and other passengers making it up to the dock or the deck, you could see mountains of water just swirling up and dragging the ship aside, as if you had been caught in some sort of maelstrom or whirlpool. Everybody tried pulling on every rig that they could, tried every trick in the book. But as the ship started to capsize, everything had gone dark for you. And now as you feel the rocky sand under your hands, and you lift yourself up to your feet, the storm is still sort of in the background. It's sort of dying off. We're getting the tail end of the storm here, but you still do feel the droplets coming down onto your skin, and the high tide, thanks to the storm, is pulling up very high onto this beach. Looking around, you don't seem to notice any wreckage or any other... Oh, actually... As you look down the coast a little bit further, you make out a shape laying prone in the sand. What do?
I'm going to go investigate that shape.
So as you finally pull yourself to your feet and you make your way over to where the body seems to have washed up, you feel an ache in your joints. Your body has not made the trek to this beach easily. What you're going to do is you're going to take a level of exhaustion starting off. That just simply means all of your ability checks, any sort of skill check or the like, is just going to be disadvantaged. Everything's a little weak, a little worse for wear. But you do make your way. You hobble over to the edge of the shore where the figure lies breathing, it looks like. What you can see is that he appears to be some sort of beast folk. He's one of those kinds that have fur and hair and interesting proportions. In fact, Hop, how would you describe your character if one were to stumble across you for the first time?
Well, if you've ever seen a rabbit, you've seen me. I guess I'm a 5 foot tall rabbit. I guess would be the best description for it. Long ears, little snout.
So, going over to the rabbit folk there, Guy, he appears to be breathing, but he is not conscious. He's got his face down in the sand. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna pick him up out of the sand a little bit and see if I can check on him, make sure that he's, no worse for the wear, any injuries, first aid.
I'll let you make a medicine check. Your head is still spinning, obviously, so this is going to be disadvantaged.
Oh boy. All right, that's an 11.
An 11. What you can make out is that he is not drowning. He is not drowned. He probably doesn't require any sort of CPR or medical care. And even if he did, you're not quite sure you even knew how to administer it. But luckily for you, as you have turned him over, he coughs up slightly, a little bit of water out of his lungs, and he comes to his senses, big rabbity eyes springing to life. Hop, as you wake up, you can feel this figure sort of cradling you and holding you up. Guy, if somebody were to come out of a comatose state and lay eyes upon you for the first time, what would they see?
Large, bald man with a thick, bushy beard, sort of brownish auburn. He's got hardened skin from all the years at the forge, and just sort of a kind of an imposing figure.
Intimidating.
You might say.
I guess I'll do my best to scamper away. At least like 5-10 feet.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. He pushes himself off of you there, Guy.
I'm gonna call out after him, and I don't know what language he speaks, so I'm gonna call out in my, I guess my version of human, which is Trudgeon from the land that I'm from. I'm gonna say, "Whoa there, friend! Whoa there, friend! You took quite a beating. Take it easy."
Hello there, I say I'll say it in common.
And I'll say, Guy, hello in common is probably the one word you might know.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I'll take that.
But anything else is more or less gibberish. This common tongue in this era of Quelmar, it's a trader's language, right? People who journey or travel often will pick it up because it is the language of merchants, and if you go anywhere, you're likely to be able to shop if you know common. But if you are somebody who doesn't travel a ton, common is not quite a language you would have under your belt, as is the case here for Guy. So you pick up on hello, but nothing else.
Okay, so I'm gonna... After you.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna... Seeing that we have a little bit of a language barrier, I'm gonna do that thing that Americans do, and attempt to speak louder and slower, and try and gesture heavily and kind of try and act out what I'm saying. So I'm gonna say, you and me washed up on the beach.
They look out into the ocean, right? And
yeah, I mean, there was some flailing going on, some yelling out from the ocean, clearly some activity, and so Guy went giant mode. Carrying Hop on his shoulders, basically, and went swimming out into the ocean to go check it out.
And I was like, oh man, we have a giant now. All right. This is cool. I guess this is a perfect opportunity for me to show off my giant mode. So I became a giant next to Guy.
Yeah, so everybody learned very, very early on, within the first hour of the campaign, that Hop and Guy both have giant forms. And then they had gotten out there where Murin was drowning at sea, and it was there that they had found other bodies that were starting to wash up, but they were in the ocean, under the water, a little bit further out. And so Alexi and Edgar, you guys who had also crashed with everyone else,
we were submerged, and then those creatures were trying to drown us. When we came to, that's when we woke up. The next thing, we were blacked out, and then when we woke up, suddenly we had to roll for initiative because we were getting drowned by those sea creatures.
You guys started the battle already underwater. And then we had a big battle.
So one of the serpent folk is going to let go of Alexi, and he's going to turn to face you, Edgar. And he is going to basically try to grapple you. He's going to do what Alexi's already got going on, which is they're trying to drown you. And he's going to he puts one slimy hand on your jaw, and he's just trying to force your mouth open to drown you. This big husky man is going to come over and rip the sea serpent off of you. Edgar, as he approaches closer and swims over, how would you describe yourself?
Dashing. I'm blonde. I'm kind of. I'm not muscular, but I'm also like in good shape. Think like a runner's body. Color of my eyes, green eyes. So maybe they're piercing the water. And I have a scar down my cheek. Yeah, I'd actually like to dash, if I can, towards the shore, because I'm of no use here. Can I yell back? Sorry, guys!
Yeah, I'm not getting any of this.
I'll do another investigation check then.
All right, sure, go for it.
13.
13. There is a salt rock in the sand nearby, about 2 feet away.
And I swim 45 feet into the action. Yeah, I just got here. I'm gonna try to beat the hell out of this guy with a rock.
Yeah, we did the old clay pigeon routine.
Yeah.
Probably not going to go back in the water. I respect it, but don't want to be in it. And I'm going to go ahead and prep Eldritch Blast for when one of those serpent folk break the surface. I'm going to go ahead and cast it at them.
So that's Murin up here on the beach somewhere.
I wave from the beach.
Guy, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
None of us see him. I'm going to grab him. I'm going to swim above the water if I can. Okay. So,
do mine eyes spot a snake folk breaking the surface?
That's right. Cut to Murin on the beach, all wide-eyed.
Give it to me again, please.
Now, how far do you think I could throw this guy? Roll to eat.
Get him over to me. I'll take care of.
Ooh.
Eldritch Blastin'. That is a 23.
You guys survived, and it was great, right? So once everybody had gotten their feet under them and was able to swim to safety, the storm subsided, and we found ourselves on the island. And then we started our scavenging, right? So once we got onto shore, we went for shelter. Thankfully, Murin has plant growth, and he created this hideout. Now that we had shelter, we also went scavenging. I think you guys dug some other things up scavenging, right?
I got some nuts.
I found sticks.
I got some feathers. Yeah,
That's right. Feathers, sticks,
exhausted.
sand.
We all had
Nothing useful.
So all of our survival rolls were awful. We all just had terrible survival.
Let's get real. We did get 16 salt rocks in that scavenging trip. That's
Yes.
Right. A little subplot to this as well was a little bit of the language barrier. And sort of the beginning of Guy, showing the giant language and trying to share in learning words in common.
Those are great moments.
That we'll never get back. But yeah, so a lot of session 1 though was scavenging. So Hop, being the ranger, had seen water marks, water stains on the side of the cliff where something must have overflowed and poured over. How do we get Hop up the cliff?
So we were like, well, hey, he's small and the guy is big. It seems pretty straightforward to me. Yeah, and everyone decided to toss me.
I took the lead on that. I thought it'd be adorable.
I'm sure it was. Like, if we actually had, films of this.
A little bit.
80 feet in the air. So you really got tossed.
Really high in my strength check, yeah.
Once Hop was up, he put down a rope using his entanglement, and that is where we came across this lake. And then we came across this creature.
That you guys watch a creature emerge from the cavern and sort of hang on to the side of the cliff, like a large gecko. on the mountainside. He just sort of sticks his head out. Peeking out from behind your rock, you can see a brilliant color, a brilliant blue color, almost sapphire-esque, as he sort of crawls his way down the side of the mountain, eventually landing on the cliff here. Hop, I believe you've got the best perception here, right?
Yeah, yes.
So as you are sort of doing your best to hide, although you can't help but shake the feeling that maybe you're seen, right? When you've got a big beast in the room, sometimes you can just kind of tell, like, I don't think I'm hidden. I think he knows I'm here. And so as you look out, Hop, and try to stay stealth, you recognize that this beast is strangely familiar. It's as it comes down to the waterfront and it starts to slurp up at the water. You wouldn't have recognized it at first, thanks to its blue coloring. But the face and the horns and the wings are no doubt draconic. This is a dragon.
Oh.
And the rest of you, since he's gotten closer, you recognize that it is indeed a dragon, full-blooded. He's not huge, but he's a pretty big dragon here, which is actually, I'd say we can all agree, is actually probably one of the best things that could have come along. Dragons, as we know,
love dragons.
are creatures of Bahamut. They are, almost lawful good by nature, always seeking to serve justice and help those in need. It's there's probably about a 50-50 shot that any one of you have encountered a dragon in your lives, and if you did, it was almost certainly never in some sort of conflict. The dragons, they stop by and they help. And this dragon, if your sense is right, he does seem to have noticed you. He doesn't seem to be on the offense anyway. So, as
Is he
takes
saying
his drink,
anything?
he doesn't say anything at all. But would you like to do something, Ghost?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll out.
Excellent. So, Ghost, you roll out from the hiding spot here. That one's Ghost. And you get to the other side of the water. And as you get to the other side of the water, the dragon's head looks up at you. And he makes eye contact. And he stares you down, water dripping down the side of his face. As if he's daring you to say something. Right?
I'm gonna crouch.
Okay. He leans back a little bit, sort of observing your body posture, your subservient posture. And he stares you down, curiouser.
And then I'm going to ask him in Draconic if he can help us. We've been shipwrecked.
As you look up and you speak the first word, the first sound that comes out of your mouth, he instantly spreads his wings wide, and you hear, almost in slow motion, the five of you, the sound of the air cracking and burning around his face as he rears back and he lets out not a roar, but a beam of pure lightning straight towards your friend. The worst thing you have ever seen a dragon do. And with that,
Whoa.
we are going to end